Welcome, everyone, to Therapeutic Yoga today. Our focus for today's class is on something that I'm sure each and every one of us has to some degree experienced, and that is loneliness. Now, I thought I would mention at the beginning of class that today's class is going to have physical components of trying to open up our heart. So if you can kind of think about your chest, your heart kind of sits in this bottom left area of your rib cage. So we're going to spend a lot of time today relative to emotions, building our emotional strength and resilience by kind of opening up our nervous system and our heart. So that's what our physical practice is going to look like today. Our mental practice is going to be a little bit different than most of the classes that we've done so far. What I'm going to do is give you my basic top 10 strength building and resilience building tricks to work on not having the feelings of loneliness. So what is loneliness? Well, the picture perfect definition of loneliness is the perception of social disconnection, basically, or the perception of social isolation. So loneliness does not equal being alone. And that's very important for all of us to understand. So you can have beautiful solitude and tranquility with being alone, and therefore not be lonely, or you can have tremendous loneliness and be around people all day long. And so what's important to understand is that loneliness is an emotion and a perception. So it's not the actual experience that's happening, it's how you feel about your social connection in the world. So with that being said, you can probably all imagine the reason that most of us have felt some social disconnection is because of social isolation. And so what I want to do today, outside of opening our hearts and our nervous systems and really kind of letting ourselves feel our heart physically, I want us to really build those muscles of resilience and emotional connection. And the way we do that is to figure out how we can create quality over quantity when it comes to authentic relationships. And so I'm going to give you my Trudy's top 10 tips on how to kind of build that strength of quality emotional connection. So let's see how it goes. All right, so have yourself sitting on a bolster, but what I'd like you to do is have yourself sitting on the bolster so that you're sitting on the end. We're going to kind of use the entire length of the bolster in a sitting position today. Once you're in that nice, good sitting position, we're going to start with making sure that we've got good alignment. So just check in for a second as you tilt your pelvis a couple times forward and backward, that you feel like you're somewhere in the middle, and then lengthen up that spine. Let's take our hands out and kind of shrug our shoulders up a bit and just kind of rotate out through your arms. Immediately that opens up your chest a little bit, but keeping that spine nice and tall, kind of just gently pull those shoulder blades back and down, and then just kind of rest the hands, palm up or palm down onto your thighs. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Rest the tongue on the roof of the mouth. That's the resting position of the tongue. You can even focus on the tip of the tongue back, touching the back teeth if you like. And then in this position, just check in that you feel like there's weight through your feet and your legs. So if there doesn't appear to be a lot of weight through your feet and your legs, just kind of let your entire pelvis and trunk hinge forward from your hip until you feel that bit of weight on your feet and legs. And then just kind of close your eyes for a second. So we're going to do a couple of breaths through our nose here. So just kind of take a nice slow inhale through your nose. And then slowly exhale through that nose, but make it slower than the inhale. I like that 3-6 count. That's what I focus on when I do my first breath exercise every morning. So let's try that for a few. Take a deep inhale through your nose, 3, 2, and 1. And then exhaling out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhaling in through the nose, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final time, inhaling in for 3, 2, and 1. And exhaling out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. All right, so number 1 on our mental tips to kind of start thinking about as we go through this class. Number 1 is really simple, but it's one that we often forget. And it is going to those authentic relationships I talked about. And it is reconnecting with an old friend. So as you're sitting here, I want you to close your eyes for a second. I want you to breathe nice and normally. And I want you to visualize for a second an old friend that you have not contacted. Now, it could be that you haven't contacted them in a month. It could be a year. It could be 10 years. I want to think of somebody I have not contacted or been in touch with. And job number 1 after today's class, if you're with me and you really want to work on this loneliness, is you are going to connect with that old friend. Now, in this position, let's begin to start to think about opening up through our chest. So hands, slide them to the front of the knees. Take an inhale and lift your chest up, push your belly forward, lengthen through your neck and look up to your ceiling. And then as you exhale, pull your belly in, curl your spine under, spread your shoulder blades, chin to chest, look into your belly button. Think about that friend's face now. Take a deep inhale, lengthen the spine, belly out, chest lifts, lengthen the neck, look up. And then as you exhale, curl everything under in a seated cat pose, really allowing yourself to spread through your shoulder blades. And one more time, inhaling, belly out, lifting that chest, looking up. Excellent. And exhaling, slowly curling down, finding that cat pose. Slowly coming back up to a seated position, resting your hands on the tops of your thighs again. All right. Now, oftentimes we tend to be kind of closed through our heart because we've got forward shoulder positioning or forward head posture. One of the key muscles that kind of restricts the opening through our chest, therefore the physical opening through our heart, are our pectoralis muscles. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to teach you literally a manual therapy technique for you to open up your own pectoralis muscles. So follow along with me. Take your left hand, place it onto your right chest area. So you're above the breast area, but you're below the collarbone area. That is where the biggest part of your pectoralis muscle lives. Very nice. Gently take your arm in front of you. You don't have to lift it high, just a little bit in front of you, but make sure the fingertips are kind of pointed forward. And then start to pull that pectoralis muscle towards the midline of your chest. Now, let's start to open up through this right side of our chest first. So very easily, keep your spine nice and long, neck lengthened, and chin gently tucked. Take an inhale and start to lengthen your arm out. Can you feel the tension in your pectoralis muscle? How far can you bring that arm out to the side? And then as you exhale, slowly bring the arm back inward. So don't let yourself slump down here. Pull that chest muscle inward. Take an inhale and lengthen outward. And then as you exhale, bring that back inward. And let's do that one more time, pulling that muscle even more. Inhale, lengthen that muscle out. I hope you feel a beautiful burn in that muscle. That's what we're looking for. And then as you exhale, bring that muscle, that arm back on in. Very nice. Release the right arm down. Right hand to the left chest. Now kind of be above the breast area, below the collarbone. And then kind of take that tissue and kind of push into it and then pull it inward towards the center sternum or your chest bone. Gently lift the left arm up. Now really pull that tissue inward. Sit nice and tall. Very often we're going to want to slump here, particularly if these muscles are really tight. All right, let's go to town. So inhale, lengthen that arm outward. Boy, I am tight in my left chest. And then as you exhale, bring that arm inward, pull the tissues inward even more. You've got it. Inhale, lengthen that arm out. And then as you exhale, bring it back in. And let's do one more time. Inhale. And then as you exhale, bring that back in. All right, drop that arm down, relax yourself down. All right, so we're gonna do one more technique for these pectoralis muscles because they are so limited in a amount of movement and play, and they're so short for so many of us. But before we get on to this next exercise, let's go to tip number 2 I want you to start thinking about. So tip number 2 is nice and easy. Some of us are already doing it. So connect with others using the internet. Now, this could be a social platform like Instagram and Facebook and all of that craziness that can become very disconnecting if you get too addicted to it. But you also have the opportunity to connect with people you otherwise wouldn't have. So that's the glory of social platforms. There is also the beauty of email. So what I want you to do as we work through our next pectoralis exercise is I want you to think of someone. Again, remember, this is kind of like your to-do list for the day. I want you to think of somebody that you want to contact via the internet once we're finished class today. So this time, left hand, rather than being on the top of the chest, I want you to bring your fingertips into your armpits. Sorry if it's sweaty, but that's where I want them. And I want you to cup around that pectoralis muscle. So you're kind of picking up the whole front of that muscle this time. As you pick it up, I want you to kind of pinch your hand and squeeze that muscle. If it is tight and has a lot of tension and tone, this alone is tender, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go through that same motion again. Can you lift your right arm up? Can you make sure you're sitting tall and your neck is long? All right, 3 inhales and exhales. So inhale, lengthen the arm out to the side. You will feel this very differently than the belly of the muscle. This is where the tendon is. Exhale, bring it in and squeeze that tendon a bit more. 2 more times. Inhale, bring that arm out to the side. I feel exactly where my tightness of my chest is. And then as you exhale, gently come back in. Have you decided who you're connecting via the internet with? Final one, inhale, bring it out to the side. And then as you exhale, bring it back inward. Wonderful. Relax that arm down. Right hand. Come down and under, get a hold of that left armpit and kind of cup that whole pectoralis muscle in your hand and give it a bit of a squeeze. And then bring that left arm up. All right, 3 times here. Inhale, lengthen that arm out to the side. And then as you exhale, bring it back in. Are you connecting via email or some sort of social platform today? Inhale, lengthen out. And then as you exhale, coming back in, let's do one more time. Inhale, lengthening out, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen through that pectoralis muscle. And then as you exhale, come back in. Beautiful. Just do a couple of circles through those shoulders. And now let's allow ourselves to get an active elongation of that muscle now that we've kind of played with that muscle a bit. You already probably feel a bit more open through your chest and therefore your heart. But now let's add a bit of length into that. So take your hands and bring your hands to the center of your heart. Sit nice and tall for me. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, tongue to the roof of your mouth. Take an inhale and reach your arms nice and high out. And then as you exhale, open those arms as big as you can. Reach, lift your chest a little tiny bit. And then inhale, come back in all the way to exhaling, hands to the center of the heart. Let's try that again. Inhaling the hands out. Exhaling, opening up, feeling yourself lengthen your arms side by side. Inhaling, coming back in. And then exhaling the hands to the center. One more time. Inhaling. Exhaling, opening up. And inhaling. And exhaling, bringing it back in. Very nice. Release your hands down. All right, tip number 3 of the 10 tips for the day on really working on that loneliness. We are going to practice this tip right now, and that is laughter. So, laughter really is the best medicine for any sort of emotional weakness. It can be depression, anxiety, or loneliness. And today, that's what we're focusing on. So, we're going to focus on laughing. So, we're going to do that with some movement today. So, let me show you what this one looks like before we kind of get our laugh on. But what I want you to do is I just want you to reach behind you and kind of gently place your left hand on the back of your bolster. And then with your right hand, you're going to take a nice deep inhale and lift your arm nice and high up and back. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring it back down again. Very nice. Put a smile on your face. And take a nice deep inhale, reach the left arm up. And then as you exhale, can you laugh? And as you come back down on the inhale, sit yourself back up. That's all there is to it. Let's give it a try. Reach the right arm back behind you. Left hand comes over to the right. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you're inhaling, lifting up, and as you're up there, laugh for me. And coming down as you continue your exhale. So have fun with this. Nobody is watching you at home. Unfortunately, they get to see me, and I'm okay making myself look stupid. Reach your left hand up. Let's take that nice deep inhale all the way up. Can you laugh for me? And then exhaling, coming down and bringing the left hand back. We're doing 3 rounds of this. Bring the right hand back. Take that nice deep inhale, lift that arm up, laugh for me. And then exhaling, bringing that arm back down. Last round here, left hand, reach it back behind you. Take that nice deep inhale, lift that arm up. Now laugh for me. And then exhaling, bringing that hand back down. Last time to the right. Reach back with that right hand. Inhale that left arm all the way up and open and laugh as loud as you can, guys. Oh, exhaling that hand all the way back. All right. So I hope that you were able to get good opening through your chest, opening through your heart, but you let yourself laugh with no worries of who is hearing you or anything like that. Very nice. Now, just slowly take yourself to the side of your bolster. And as you take yourself to the side of your bolster, just kind of move your bolster a little bit to the bottom of your yoga mat. Allow yourself to just kind of rest down on your side here and use your bolster just to rest your head on today. As you're using your bolster to rest your head on today, just kind of stack your knees and your hips and your ankles and check in that there's a nice good 90 degrees with the hip and a nice good 90 degrees with the knees. You can even point your toes if you want and get that 90 degrees with the ankles. Left arm is kind of out to the side of you, and that right arm, what I want you to do is just kind of place the right hand into the left palm. And so now we're going to move on to loneliness tip number 4, and that is a non-human friend. I'm sure most of you know that pets, whether it is a cat, a dog, a bird, a turtle, a hamster, a fish, it does not matter. Research shows that having a non-human friend increases our emotional support. So when we think about having authentic relationships and we think about really building our emotional strength and resilience, thinking of having a non-human friend is absolutely the way to go. So if you have one of those, I want you to think about that non-human friend. If you don't have one, I want you to think about a friend's non-human friend that you may have been in contact either virtually or physically in the most recent days, weeks, and months. All right, so let's open up through our chest in this position here. So gaze down at your right thumb. And what you're going to do is you're going to inhale. And as you inhale, you're going to watch your thumb and just gently rotate your arm all the way behind you. Let your trunk also rotate here. And then as you exhale, Gently bring that hand and head and trunk and neck all the way back forward again. Let's do that 2 more times on this right side. Inhaling, I'm picturing one of my dogs as I'm inhaling and turning my spine and my head and everything backward. And then gently exhaling, coming all the way back forward. Let's do one more. Inhaling, opening all the way up. Keep that gaze with that thumb as far back as you can. And then as you exhale, gently bring it all the way back to the front. Very nice. Now, you at home can simply do a 180-degree turn and twist yourself to the opposite side. I'm just going to kind of rotate myself on this mat so that I'm still facing you. Have yourself, so now the right side of your head is resting on your bolster and your right arm is laying out in front of you. Right hips are at 90 degrees, or hips are at 90 degrees, knees are at 90 degrees. And if you like, pull those feet up and have them all at 90 degrees today. Left hand is now stacked on top of that right hand. And then in this position, allow yourself to start to work through those 3 breaths. But again, I want you to think about that non-human friend. So as you inhale, open up, take the gaze and the trunk with you as you turn your arm behind you. And then as you exhale, gently bring that hand all the way back and through. Very nice. 2 more times. Inhaling, I am thinking of my second puppy dog right now, all the way back. And then as you exhale, coming all the way back to the front. 1 more time. Inhaling, opening up. What is the non-human friend you can think of spending some quality time with? Exhaling, coming back down. Very nice. Now, slowly push yourself up into a kneeling position. Have yourself on hands and knees. You can keep your bolster somewhere near the top of the mat, or you can put it between you, whichever feels more comfortable for you. Now, in this position, what I want you to do is check in that your knees are hip distance apart. Gaze back at your feet and see that if you look behind your knees, you can't see your feet or your ankles, and that they're perfectly in line with your knees. Have your hips directly stacked on top of your knees and walk your hands forward so that you have yourself in a position that your wrists and your elbows stack underneath your shoulders. Can you gaze down at your index fingers and make sure that they're the finger that is pointing forward? And then the thumbs, can you spread them inward as much as possible? Outer 3 fingers, spread them on out. Now let's go through 3 cat cows here. So take a deep inhale, sink your belly down, lift the tailbone, shoulder blades back and down, lengthen that neck and look upward. And then as you exhale, can you curl everything up and under? Tailbone tucks, chin to chest, gaze into your belly button. All right, full breath with movement here. Inhale, sink everything down, shoulder blades back and down, lengthen and look all the way up. And then as you exhale, curling everything under, tucking, 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 chin to chest, resting here. Last time, inhale, sink everything down, really lengthen through the front of that neck and look upward. And then as you exhale, curl everything perfectly under. Allow yourself now to slowly sit back into your child's pose. Rest in your child's pose. Take your belly towards your thighs. Take your chest towards your knees. Soften your elbows here. Take the crown of your head and gently rest it down towards the floor. Now, in this position, take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And then gently exhaling out here. Let's do that for 2 more breaths. Nice deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out here. 1 more time, nice deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. All right, rest yourself right here. Let's talk about our next tip. So keep your mind focused on what I'm hearing, what I'm talking about. And the next tip is nice and simple, but oftentimes we close ourselves off to it. Number 5 tip. Do something creative. Now for you, creative may be drawing, it may be woodworking, it may be puzzles, it might be coloring, it might be organizing your house, it can be anything you desire.
But what I want you to do is to take the next few seconds here in child's pose to think about something that you can do that is creative to really work on strengthening that resilience of that emotional system to not feel lonely. Keep yourself here. Focus on what am I going to put on my to-do list to do something creative. Take one more nice deep inhale as you're committing to your new creative task. And then as you exhale, just kind of settle your tailbone a little bit more here. Very nice. Bring yourself back up into hands and knees. We're going to use our bolster to kind of open up through the very upper part of our upper back here. We're going to do puppy pose in a minute, but we're going to start with a modification to kind of really allow ourselves to open up through that upper back. So place your bolster where you can rest your elbows on your bolster, And if you looked back at yourself, you could see that your hips and your knees are stacked. Once you have yourself into the position that it looks like, yes, my knees and my hips are stacked, what I then want you to do is start to walk your elbows forward and kind of take your hands and make a prayer pose with them. And as you're making your way into that position, slowly start to drop your sternum bone. So this bone right here. Slowly start to drop it towards the floor. You'll feel the opening through your shoulders and your upper back, which will indirectly open up through your chest. You can gently drop your chin down onto the bolster, or you can lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and drop your forehead down, whichever feels better for you. So now in this position, allow yourself to take a deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out. One more nice deep breath here. Deep inhale in. And then exhaling out. Beautiful. Kind of walk your elbows back up and slowly bring yourself back to hands and knees. Allow yourself just to take your bolster off to the side for a second. And now let's work on puppy pose. So puppy pose is the same idea with just a little bit more extension through the upper back, not so much through the shoulders this time. So stack your knees and your hips directly up. Start to lower your chest all the way down to the floor. As you're lowering your chest, you're kind of walking your hands upwards towards the top of the ceiling. You can lengthen your neck and drop your chin down. You can gently rotate your head to your left or your right side, or drop your forehead to the floor. Now, rest yourself in this position. Take a deep inhale into your belly, ladies and gentlemen. And exhaling out. One more breath, nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. Beautiful. Slowly walking yourself back up onto hands and knees, taking a deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, tucking your tailbone under and sitting yourself back onto your heels, dropping your head down. Let's go through a couple more breaths in child's pose and talk about tip number 6. So as you're laying here, rest that head down onto the floor, drop your elbows, really settle your tailbone, take a deep inhale into your belly here, and exhaling out. One more time, deep inhale into the belly, and then exhaling out. All right, so tip number 6 to combat loneliness on my list: help someone in need. So now this can be many things, right? It can be physically helping someone in need. That might be a little bit of a barrier for some of us that are kind of socially isolating ourselves with this pandemic. But it could also be something as simple as helping someone in need with a donation, or helping someone in need in getting their lawn cut. I mean, there's so many things that you could think of. But when I say to you, if I give you the to-do list of helping someone in need, I want you to rest in your child's pose, kind of let yourself be, and think about what comes to your mind. Again, remember, we're building resilience today, right? It's like kind of doing bicep curls for our muscles, but we're doing that for our brain. How could we help someone in need? Take one more nice deep inhale here and exhaling out. Beautiful. Coming back up onto your hands and knees, a little bit of opening up through our latissimus muscle before we make our way onto our back. So just take your right hand and reach up nice and high, but not all the way up today, just nice and high so you feel a little bit of a stretch through your shoulders. And then take an inhale, and as you inhale, kind of sink your belly down, arch your back, shoulder blades back and down. And then as you exhale, really stretch up into that cat pose. Settle yourself back until you start to feel that stretch through your right arm. Hold yourself right here. Gaze yourself back between your knees. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take a deep inhale into your belly and then exhaling out. And one more breath. Nice deep inhale into your belly. And then exhaling out. Have you figured out how you could help somebody in need? All right, switch the hands. So left hand, just gently reach up your mat. Allow yourself in this position to take a nice deep inhale, sink the belly down, kind of lift the tailbone, shoulder blades up, and then arch yourself all the way up. Tuck, tuck, tuck that tailbone. Sit back until you feel that stretch through that left shoulder. Gaze your eyes back towards your knees. Take a deep inhale here and exhaling out. One more breath. Nice deep inhaling in and exhaling out. Beautiful. Now slowly allowing yourself to kind of lay on your side and then roll yourself onto your back. As you're making your way onto your back, what I want you to now do is just kind of check in that your back feels like it's in a neutral position. So maybe do a tuck and a tilt of your pelvis and feel that there's a little bit of space through your low back, but that it's not fully arched or you're not pushing it down into the floor. Have your knees hip distance, feet on the floor underneath your knees. Gently bring your arms out to the side of you for a second. We're going to work here on 3 beautiful diaphragmatic breaths with that same breathing count that we did at the beginning. So 3 for the inhale, 6 for the exhale. So lengthen your neck here, settle your chin, maybe even close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Take a nice inhale into your belly for 3, 2, 1, and then exhale gently out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Inhaling in for 3, 2, and 1, and then exhaling out for 6, and 5, and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time here, inhaling in for 3, 2, and 1, and then exhaling out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Taking your right knee to your chest. Taking a nice deep inhale here, and on the exhale, pulling that knee into that chest. All right, hold it here. Nice deep inhale in, and then as you exhale, pull that knee into your chest. Good. Slowly dropping the right knee down, taking that left knee up to your chest, just a bit of opening through your glutes here. Nice deep inhale in, exhaling, pulling that knee into your chest. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale in, and exhaling, pulling your knee into your chest. Beautiful. Slowly dropping that leg down. Let's take our right knee back up to our chest, but this time hold our hands underneath our leg. Take a deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, pull your knee into your chest. Now with that left leg, slide it all the way down the mat. So we're just going to do a little bit of hamstring and sciatic nerve opening here. But as we do it, we're going to move on to tip number, I think it's 7 now, right? Yes, we're at tip number 7. So tip number 7 is nice and fun to do. It's a visualization exercise, you guys. So here's what I want you to do. You're going to visualize some place you'd like to be. So emotional resilience, how we can get ourselves out of that perception of loneliness. Well,
Visualize somewhere we would love to be. So point your toes up with both feet. Think about that beautiful place you'd like to be. Take an inhale, gently straightening that right leg. And then as you exhale, releasing that leg down. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhaling, straightening that leg. And then exhaling, releasing it. Are you visualizing a beautiful place? Inhaling and lifting. And exhaling and relaxing. One more time, inhaling and lifting and exhaling and relaxing. Beautiful. Slide your left leg up, release your right foot to the floor. Let's take your left knee to your chest this time. Take a deep inhale here, hands are behind the knee, and as you exhale, pull your knee to your chest. Right leg, slide that leg all the way down. Now, same deal, point the toes up, lengthen the neck, settle the chin. Take a second here before we start our 4 breaths and opening up through the left hamstring to think about that place again. Can you visualize it? Can you do 2 things, 3 things at once? So find that beautiful place you'd love to be. Here we go. Inhale, straightening the left leg and exhaling and relaxing. Wow, I've got my place. It's so beautiful. Inhaling and exhaling, relaxing that knee. Let's go again. Nice deep inhaling and exhaling, relaxing. Last time, lengthen your neck if it's arched. Inhaling, and then as you exhaling and relaxing. Very good. Right leg, slide that leg up, and then left knee, replace it back, left foot, replace it back on the floor. All right, so we're going to tackle back into these pectoralis muscles again. So before we do that, I want to kind of talk about what your lower half of your body is going to be doing. So what I'd like you to do is kind of slowly walk your feet over to the right edge of your mat. Now, as you walk your feet over to the right edge of your mat, feel as you let your legs fall down towards the left that your spine gently twists all the way up. So this is a modification of a spinal twist, but we're going to introduce that with lengthening through our chest muscle. So let's see if we can do this all together, ladies and gentlemen. So take that hand and grab that area underneath that armpit that we worked on before. Lengthen your arm away from you. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. And imagine as you start to drop your knees that you're pulling your arm, your hand that's holding the muscle with your knees, but you keep the right arm still. Let's give this a try. Nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, letting the knees drop to the left and pulling that left hand down with the knees like it's all tugged together. Hold that there, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Give me a deep inhale into your chest if you've got it. And exhaling out. You've got it. One more nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. All right. Inhale your legs back up and relax there. Now, walk your feet to the left side of the mat. Left arm is going to go out beside you. I'm just going to move my bolster a little bit. Right hand now comes up and over and kind of grabs that armpit area of that left pectoralis muscle. Now, before we do this one, we want to talk about tip number 8. Now, this is a fun one. Some of you at home can have a great time with this. I will struggle with this one, but I'm going to do my best. Tip number 8 is to sing. You cannot sing like you cannot laugh and be lonely. And so what we're going to do is we're going to work on opening through this left one. As we're doing it, I want you to think about a song that you might sing. And then we're going to repeat both of these chest openers. Uh-oh, you've got it, with some singing. Let's see how it goes. So gently grab a hold of that pectoralis muscle, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, take a deep inhale here. And as you exhale, let your knees fall to the right and you pull that pectoralis muscle down into the right with that right hand, feeling that opening through that chest muscle. Holding that here, lengthening that neck, take a deep inhale into your chest and exhaling out.
Let's do that one more time. Inhale into the chest and exhaling out. Beautiful. Inhale those knees up to the left. Walk those feet back over to the right edge of your mat. Right arm comes out, left hand. Grab that pectoralis muscle. All right, ladies and gentlemen at home, let's see what these vocal pipes have in store for you. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about a song that you're going to sing on the exhale. We're going to do 2 exhales, and I want you to sing that song on the exhale. Have fun with it. Life is too short. Remember, we are working on emotional resilience today. So take a deep inhale here, and then on your exhale, just let the knees fall first. Really pull that pectoralis muscle down towards those knees, down towards that left. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. All right, 2 exhales to sing away for me. Are you ready? Nice deep inhale in, and as you exhale, sing for me. La 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 la. Give it a try again, guys. Deep inhale in, and as you exhale, maybe even smile this time. La 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 la. Beautiful. Inhale those knees back up to the center. Walk those feet to the left. Just have fun with it. Left hand out to the side of your body. Right arm come up and grab that pectoralis muscle again on this left side. Now, can you think of another song? Can you think of another song? Let's go through it. So this first breath, just get your knees down, and then you'll have 2 breaths to sing here. Take a deep inhale in, and as you exhale, let your knees fall to the right. Pull that chest muscle down as you lengthen through that arm. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. All right, let's go to it. 2 breaths of exhales to sing. Can you do it? Take a deep inhale in. And then as you exhale out, sing happy birthday. That's it. Let's do one more. Nice deep inhale. Exhaling out to you. Boy, I will never make it a singer, will I? All right. Inhaling those knees back up. Walk your feet back to the center. Now, in this position, kind of roll your shoulder blades down, bring your arms up into a T formation, turn your thumbs all the way up so that it's pointing towards your head. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, have your feet hip distance and knees hip distance. Check in with your back that it's softly angled off the floor. Now, in this position, we're just going to do a quick little opening through our chest by arching our upper back up off the floor on the inhale. So start to push your hands into the floor a little tiny bit, but don't squeeze your shoulder blades together. Can you take an inhale and lift your chest up, arch through that upper back? And then as you exhale, can you gently just drop that back down? Yeah. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale. Lift that chest all the way up. And then as you exhale, drop that back down. Very, very nice. Now bring your right knee to your chest, followed by your left knee to your chest. Keep your neck nice and long, your chin settled. Allow yourself to rest here for a minute. Take a deep inhale in. And then as you exhale, pull your knees into your chest. Now just in this position, keep your neck nice and long. We're going to just do a couple of nice deep belly breaths here. Check in that your feet have not crossed. So have your feet hip distance apart. Can you take a nice deep inhale into your belly? And then exhaling out. One last time, deep inhale into the belly. And then exhaling out. Now keep yourself in this position, knees to chest, neck is long. Just gently pulling the knees in. And let's talk about tip number 9. So tip number 9 is kind of a difficult one for some of us because we're not too compassionate to ourselves. We beat ourselves up all day long. That's one of the reasons we're lonely or have that feeling, right? So remember that loneliness is a perception. Well,
Something that is not a perception is giving, is compassion, is empathy. And so I want you to think about right now as you're holding your knees to your chest, if you had a friend something bad had happened to, how quick you would be to respond and say, I'm sorry. Things will get better. I'm here for you. But when was the last time you said that, ladies and gentlemen, to yourself? I'm sorry. Things will get better. I'm here for you. So as you stay in this gentle knees to chest position, it's very easy. It's just a gentle opening through your glutes. I want you to take a moment to look back at the last time you maybe beat yourself up about something. And then just give yourself a moment of self-compassion. Say to yourself, I'm sorry. Things will get better. I'm here for you and you being yourself. Let's keep yourself here and breathe normally and just think about that for a moment. Now, gently relax one foot to the floor, followed by the other. Take your left leg and slide your left leg down. Take your right foot up and over onto your left thigh. Reach up to that left hand, bring that right arm out to the side of the body. Now, take a nice deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, pull that knee towards the left. Feel your low back lift, your pelvis lift, your rib cage lift, but keep that left arm nice and long. Lengthen your neck and then gently turn your head all the way to the right. Can you gaze at that right thumb? Imagine the lengthening opening up through your right chest right now. Rest your tongue to the roof of your mouth and just take a deep inhale here. And then exhaling out. One more time. Nice deep inhale in. And then exhaling out. Slowly bringing your neck back to the center, starting at that right rib cage and slowly bringing your rib cage down one segment at a time, the low back next, the pelvis next. Unrotate that leg, slide the left leg up, rest the right foot down to the floor, left foot onto the right thigh, right hand reach up and over for that left knee and left arm out to the side of your body. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then as you exhale, pulling that left knee to the right, lifting that pelvis and that low back and that rib cage, reaching out with that left arm, lengthening that neck, and then turning that head towards that left side, gazing at that left thumb. Now letting yourself be still here, taking that nice deep inhale into the belly, and then exhaling out. And inhaling in and exhaling out. Slowly bringing your head back to the center, starting at that left rib cage and segment by segment, dropping that spine down, letting the low back come, then the pelvis, and then dropping that left foot on the floor, sliding that right leg up. And today we are going to fiddle and play with happy baby. Happy baby, because it is a beautiful position to just let the tension go throughout our whole entire pelvic floor and the tension through our hips. So just bring your knees towards your chest, but take your knees wider so that they're at the width of your shoulders. Gently bring your hands underneath your knees and just slowly start to straighten your legs until you can see that either your shin bones are running perpendicular to the floor, or to you, you feel like your feet are on the ceiling. Now you can hold a little higher and pull your knees down towards your armpits. If you like, you can hold all the way to the outside of the feet, but make sure that you check in that your shin bones are still running perpendicular to the floor. Have your feet stacked directly on top of your knees at the width of those shoulders. Lengthen your neck here, ladies and gentlemen. Settle your chin. Take the deepest inhale into your belly that you can. And then exhaling out. One more nice deep inhale all the way down to that pelvic floor. And And exhaling out. Finally, gently bringing the hands back under the thighs, letting the knees bend, bringing the feet back to hip distance, and then placing the feet on the floor one at a time. Letting yourself find that nice neutral back that you need. And then once you've found that, keeping yourself there, maybe even engaging or bracing your abdominals a tiny bit, and then slowly bringing the right heel down to the right corner of your mat, followed by the left heel down to the left corner of your mat. Getting yourself in a nice, comfortable position here. And then allowing yourself to gently let your arms come out to the side of you, lengthening your neck and settling your chin. Ending our class with Savasana and our final tip. So as promised, 10 tips to ease loneliness. The final tip we will use in our Savasana today, and it is the mindfulness technique of loving kindness. So there's many different ways to do loving kindness as far as a guided meditation is concerned. We are going to do our loving kindness today 100% about ourselves. So as we're laying here, we're going to use a beautiful quote that Sharon Salzberg has really made, I guess you could say, famous. And I use at least once to twice a week in my meditation practice. And it is nice and simple. It is, may I be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with ease. So you can say that to yourself in your mind, or you know what, you can even say it out loud. But as you're saying it, I want you to visualize and really bring your attention to your current you, to how you look, what you might be wearing right now, where your hair is, what your shirt might look like. May I be safe, be happy, be healthy, live with ease. Really visualize yourself, be present with that. Feel who you are in your mind. And say to yourself or out loud, may I be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with ease. Picture the color of your eyes, maybe some wrinkles on that face or some freckles on those hands. And then say to yourself, may I be safe, be happy, and be healthy, and live with ease. And now, I want us to move on to an earlier us, ladies and gentlemen. So take a moment to picture yourself 10 years ago. 10 years younger. Who was that person? What did they look like? What did they wear? And say to them, may I be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with ease. And did your body look the same? Did your body look drastically different? Did you look taller, more muscular, maybe heavier? May I be safe, be happy, be healthy, live with ease. What did your clothes look like that you wore 10 years ago? Can you remember? Were they looser, tighter fitting, the same style as today? Think about that. May I be safe, be happy, be healthy, live with ease. What did your face look like 10 years ago? Less wrinkles? Maybe less a scar? Different color? Different texture? But say to yourself, may I be safe, be happy, be healthy, live with ease. Now staying with yourself today. Again, remember, we're building the muscle of resilience so that we lose that perception of not being connected. We lose that perception of feeling socially isolated. Take yourself to what you think you may look like in 10 years. Some of us, that might be hard to do, but allow yourself to see, visualize, what do you look like versus now? What do you look like versus when you were 10 years before now? But now you're 10 years later. Then say to yourself, that future 10-year-old self, may I be safe, be happy, be healthy, live with ease. And picture your body. Are you shorter? Do you have more physical ailments? Picture what you may look like. That entire beautiful body. And then say, may I be safe, be happy, be healthy, live with ease. Can you imagine what your clothing will be like? What those shoes might be like on your feet? Can you picture? What will I be wearing 10 years from now? Will it be completely different? Will it be exactly the same? Then say to yourself, may I be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with ease. Finally, can you visualize and picture your face 10 years from now? Extra wrinkles, maybe deeper smile or frown lines. Do you still have that sparkle in your eye? Imagine what you look like. And then say to yourself, ladies and gentlemen, may I be safe, be happy, be so healthy, and live with ease. As you lay here, I kind of have a tip number 11, but it's not really on my list. but it's ultimately knowing we're really never alone. Always remember that when we be still, there is always somebody with us. Be still and know that I am with you. Now slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, maybe some circles with those wrists and those ankles. And then when you feel like you're ready, gently sliding one leg up, followed by the other. And slowly letting yourself roll over to your left or your right side and just kind of rest there for a moment. Taking maybe a nice deep inhale and a nice exhale. And then when you feel like you're ready, on a good exhale, using that top hand and that bottom elbow, pushing yourself up into a seated position. Finding yourself in a seated position to end class. So let me say those tips one last time as you're finding yourself in a comfortable position, hands to the center of our heart. Tip number 1, reconnect with an old friend. Tip number 2, connect using the internet. Number 3, laughter is the best medicine. Number 4, find and thoroughly enjoy a non-human friend. Number 5, do something creative. 6, help someone in need, however that works for you. Number 7, visualize a place you would love to be right now. Number 8, sing, even though you painfully had to hear me sing today. Number 9, self-compassion. Treat yourself with compassion and empathy like you treat others. And finally, number 10, a little bit of loving kindness. And then that extra little one that I said, knowing that we're never really ever alone. Hands to your heart, smiles on your faces. Nice deep inhale into that heart, ladies and gentlemen, and then exhaling out. Namaste. The highest in me really does salute the highest in you. Thank you for joining me today.